Good evening and welcome to our Facebook Live this evening. I hope you've had a good day. My name's Jenny McCormack and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and I'm based in the UK. It is Thursday the 2nd of December and I'm carrying on with the use of Tidings and Trimmings stamp set that I've featured over the last 2 days, and today I'm going to add in the dies. They're called the Christmas Trimmings dies, and I'm going to use the stocking die and also the holly and the berries. That's my plan. So I hope you've had a good day. This stamp set you can find in the annual catalogue on page 89, and that has the details of the stamps and the dies, and the stamps are really good price. They're £17, so really good price for a stamp set, and you get 18 stamps within that. And then the dies, if you buy them with the stamp set, the bundle price is £37.75, which is a 10% discount off the list price of the individual items of the stamps and the dies. Right, let us see where we are in the scheme of things. There we go. There's a lot of ideas on the 2 pages that the stamp set is on, and I'm going to sort of use this idea with 3, I'm not sure if you can see that or not, 3 stockings with a little holly. Oh, there we go, right at the bottom. But I'm going to use some of the papers behind to make it look like they're hung up in front of a fireplace. But there's lots of ideas here using the dies. So I will carry on using this probably into next week because there's so much that you can do with it. If you joined me live yesterday, I did a run through of our retiring lists from our July to December catalogue, and if you want to see that again, that is available on YouTube, and it's also available on my Facebook Live. Let me show you very quickly the cards that I've made already. Let me try and move this out of that light. You can tell it's an easy stamp set because I've got lots of cards already made. I only started using it 2 days ago. So here we have the stars, we have the stockings. These are like the ones we did yesterday. This was the one that we actually did yesterday, and I added the gold pen onto the stocking itself. I don't think you can really see that anyway. Maybe if I just tilt it, you'll see it. So a gold pen on there. More stars in different colours, and then the 2 different types of stockings, but all in real red. So let's get cracking with some designs. So what I'm going to do is stamp the stocking. I think I'm going to use this one, but you could use either of them, or you could use both of them. And I've just wiped that down, just why that's wet, so let's just turn that over. And the colours I'm going to use, hi Jeanette, come from those papers. So Soft Succulent, Evening Evergreen and Real Red I'm using. So I'm going to stamp 1 in each. I don't think that piece is very big. Let's try a larger piece. There we go, that's a little bit better. So let's start with the Soft Succulent. So I hope you're well, Jeanette. So let's just put one of those down. So I'm going to do one in each colour. Good morning, Kerry. I finished the designing for our card class for December, and as usual, once I got cracking, it was I almost did too many. So it's another bumper class, which I'm really pleased with. So we've got 2 sets of 3 cards, which you can wrap around with the ribbon and give as a gift if you wish, with envelopes. We've got some mini cards which can be used as tags. We've got a bookmark, and we've got calendar cards. It did, thank you, Jeanette. All is good. Thank you for your concern. So I've got 3 of those, and then I'm not quite sure what layer I'm going to have behind this for my card, whether I'm going to have real red or whether I'm going to have evening evergreen or anything else really. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut these up, but I'm also going to cut up the holly. So these are the dies. So I'm going to use this one here, which cuts out 2 pieces of holly leaves I should say, and then this one here cuts out 6 holly berries. So because these are quite small, what I'm going to do is use my self-adhesive sheet to go behind, so that I'm not trying to manoeuvre tiny little dots. You could of course just use it'll come to me in a minute. You could just use bling, red gems instead of the holly. So all I'm going to do is I've just got this little offcut of our, I'm just going to bring this in a little bit so that I can use the outside edge if I need to. That wasn't very clever, was it? Never mind. Okay, so what I'm going to do is pop this on the other side of that, work out roughly where it is. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Maybe an offcut would be better. Let's see what I've got. I've got some here, sure. Let's have a look. That'll do. I don't trust myself to find that little bit. So let's cut a little bit off. And this way I can just peel off the holly berries rather than have to attach glue to the back. So Jeanette, I hope you've had a good day, and Kerry, I hope you've got a good day planned ahead. I was quite surprised to find snow on the ground this morning. That wasn't what I was expecting in the slightest. Okay, so I'm going to cut this little bit out here. So that will be 6 holly berries. Perfect. What I might do is just trim this bit off, like so. And then I want some evening evergreen. All my holly leaves. So I'm just going to come out, cut out some from here. So let's just do a little length like that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is cut out 3 of these and 1 of these and 3 stockings. Obviously I only have 1 stocking die, so I'm going to cut those out one at a time. In this set we also have, as I mentioned yesterday, the outline for the star, but you have this other detail here which is lovely, so I'm going to be using that for our next session. Oh, there's another set of holly leaves. Perfect. So I can do 2 holly leaves at the same time, and also this little star cuts out, and this really pretty set of berries. So it's a really versatile set of dies. Let me pop those back before I lose them. Okay, just going to tuck that out of the way. Move these, and I'm just going to bring my die cutting machine up, if only because it's useful to have it in front of me. I know you can't see that because they'll be out of your way, but just going to pop these through. To take my glasses off to see what I'm doing. So I'm just lining up the stocking. Going to add my holly leaves. I know you can't see this. And then I've got the holly berries. Okay, so I'm just going to pop those through. I'm sort of half on, half off my mat here. There we go. Okay, so I've got 1 stocking cut out. Now, as I showed you yesterday, you could cut the stockings manually. You don't need the dies necessarily for the stockings, but I do like these holly leaves that we get. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the holly berries are all cut out. I'm going to leave those in there for the minute, and then I just want 1 more lot of holly and the other 2 stockings, so bear with me while I do that. So let's turn that round to fit it on. Sorry, all you're going to see is my arm. Hope it doesn't make you feel giddy. Okay, there's my other stocking and my holly leaves. They're very cute. And then all I need is the last stocking and we're good to go. I can take this out of the way. I could have done this beforehand for you, couldn't I? But never mind. I was too busy clearing up a bit of space on my desk to be able to go live. Okay, there we are. Move that out of the way. And it's Friday again tomorrow. It just hurtles round, doesn't it? Really does. Okay, let's take the plates out of the way. Okay, so I've got my 3 stockings, and what I'm thinking is adding the holly leaves like so onto each one. So I'm just going to do that with a little dab of glue and then add the berries on, and obviously I've got the berries already glued up. So I'm not sure if there's a right and a wrong way for these holly leaves. There probably is. I'm guessing the closer the line is for the middle, that's at the top. Okay, there's one. And 2. I could have done these with the self-adhesive sheets as well, but I didn't necessarily want them all covered because I wanted some of it to stick out, so that's why I hadn't. But it did cross my mind. Okay, on there. And there. Okay, now I've got these holly berries with glue attached to the back, so I'm just going to pop these out with my take your pick tool. And I'm going to try not to lose them. And not lose the die either. So let's pick one of these up. Yep. Easier said than done. There we go. It reminds me of Tiddlywinks. Okay, Jenny, whose idea was this? I finally got one. So if I just lift this up so you can see what I'm trying to achieve. So I've got my holly on the top. And then I'm adding the berries. So I think I would probably add 3 berries to each one, but for the purposes of this evening, I'm sure you don't want to see me chasing these around all night long. I've got ink all over my hands from crafting earlier. Got it. So 1, 2. So I pushed it into the piercing mat and then lifted it off. That seems to work. That one didn't. There we go. Sorry, this is really mundane for you to look at, isn't it? I'm sure. I can't see where the other one went. So I turned it over with my finger, pushed it into the mat, and then lift it off. That. Okay, so for the moment, because the other one went springing somewhere, I've only got one bit of holly on there. Okay, right, let's find a card and some paper to go with it. So I'm not sure what base I'm going to use, so I've got I have got some evening evergreen, I have got some red, and I've got white base card. And what I want to grab are the papers, because I want something that these are going to stand out with. So this one would work. 1, 2 and 3, like so. That one, but I'm thinking there's a really nice soft succulent piece, this one here, with the holly. It's either that or stripes. Let's have a look and see. Yeah, something like that. So I'll just lift that up so you can see that. So those are my 3 little stockings against this background. So I think what I'm going to do is drop that onto a layer of evergreen and then onto white. Oh, good. Thanks, Kerry. I'm glad you were thinking the same. And we could just have those going across there, or we could add some thread. Or the other thing I thought of is using a strip of our wood paper. We've got quite a few bits of wood paper. Let me have a look. So I've got cork paper, but on the back of this which is this one, there is some wood. So what I was thinking of doing is cutting a panel to make it look like they were hanging onto the mantelpiece. Hi, Brenda of the fireplace. So I'm thinking just a small strip of this. Let's go for 1/2 inch, but that may be too much anyway. I hope you're well, Brenda. And you obviously picked up your order okay. Let's try that. See? Stay. Yes. Now the question is, I could have it a little bit deeper, or I could have it part of the way down. Hi Tracy. So let's cut these to size and then I'll decide what to do. Oh, bless you, Brenda. That's quite all right. I hope you manage to get some crafting done soon. Okay, so cutting this, I'm actually going to cut that to 9.5 by 13.85, like so. Then I'm going to cut this layer, which is our evening evergreen, to 10. Oops, by 14.35. And I'm going to mount that either onto a red or a white card. Oh, no trouble at all. Thanks, Kerry. Hope you have a good day. And we'll catch up with you next week. Thank you. So, here's my pretend mantelpiece. Actually, maybe I should have cut it the other way, with the wood grain going that way. I think I should have done. Is it wide enough? Oh, yes, just. Okay. That was very lucky, wasn't it? Because if I cut the other piece any bigger, it wouldn't have fitted across the page. Okay, that's better. So I've got this layer onto here, and then this is my wood grain mantelpiece. And then I'm going to hang. Oh, bless you, Brenda. They are really good, aren't they? So I appreciate you coming back for them. So there we go. I've got my 3 stockings on there. So I can either bring this down a little bit and have a sentiment across the top, or move these up a bit. And I'm going to pop these on with dimensionals. 1, 2, 3. Sentiment across there, I reckon. And then layer that. Let's see whether I put it onto a red card or white card. Well, that's quite festive with red, doesn't it? So I have this one here. That's real red. Let's just score that one. So I will be doing the email this evening for the next lot of classes. I've got it photographed and designed, and also a reminder email about my in-person sale on Saturday, which is my buy one get one free event. Yeah, that looks nice. I'm happy with that. So let's put these layers down. I'm going to put this one down first. I think I've moved my camera again. I feel a long way off the bottom. So I do apologise if part of this was not in view. Okay, so that's evening evergreen onto real red. This is soft succulent, my favourite colour at the moment. Like that. So if you didn't catch me yesterday, I went through the retiring list. So there's an opportunity to grab a bargain there. Quite a lot of stamp sets at £10. Not to be missed. Okay, so here is my mantelpiece. I think what I'm going to do is put this across. It's just short of that, so I'm going to cut it to the same width as my soft succulent. Which will be 13.85. Yes, literally a sliver off the end. If it was wider, I probably would have taken it to the edge of the evergreen, but it was a little bit close for that. And I'm just trying to work out the height. So let's put one there so I can see. I want enough room for my sentiment underneath, you see. That is fine, just a little way down from the top. So this paper is from those autumnal papers, but you could also use the ones from In Good Taste, because there are some wooden ones there. You could also use some of the different tiled ones as well, I think would work. But I wanted that to look like a mantelpiece on a fireplace. Okay, so I've got soft succulent, evening evergreen and real red. So I'm thinking I'm going to pop the red one in the middle. And then I'm going to have these at a little bit of an angle, because obviously they sort of hang. And then a sentiment across the bottom. So let's pop these on with dimensionals. 2, 3. Just going to pop 3 on each one. Oops. So you could recreate this without the dies. You wouldn't have the holly, but you could obviously fussy cut the stockings like we did yesterday. Okay, I think I need to let Cassie out the kitchen door, so give me 1 minute. I should have put the one in the middle first, but give me 1 second to let her out, if you would. Oh, it's not dark. Apologies for that. Okay, hopefully I've got the spacing fairly okay. So I'm going to do this one the other way around. Put this one at the same distance. 1, 2, 3. Maybe a little bit higher. And then the red one's going in the middle. I think so. There we go. And then I'm going to put a sentiment across the bottom. And I think what I'll need to do for that is stamp it onto a strip of white card. I really want a long, thin sentiment on there. I know the one that I'd like to use. Which is this one here, Merry Christmas. So this Heartfekt Wishes I know is retiring, and this has got that lovely long Merry Christmas across there. But also this Happy Christmas would work from Happy Holidays across there. Or this one, Christmas Blessings to You and Yours. Let's have a look and see if this, how this will look. Merry Christmas will fit across there actually perfectly. If I just lift that up so you can see, because it sort of encompasses both of those. So I think I'm going to stamp that actually in Evening Evergreen onto this cardstock. Normally I would do a white piece, but I'm going to try this first. If it doesn't work, I can put a white piece on top. So I'm going to use Evening Evergreen ink, and I need a long block. This is a little bit short for this, but I'm hoping I'll get away with it. So, inking this one up. Yeah, that looks good. And there we go. Fingers crossed. There we have it. Hasn't stood out a great deal. Maybe my ink pad needs redoing. So it does say Merry Christmas. So what I might need to do is actually do it in white after all. Let me have a look and see. You can see it. You could also heat emboss it. Let me just have a look. Just felt there might be too much white in there. I could fussy cut around it. I'm not a big fan of doing that. I do prefer it straight, and that's because I'm not a big fan of fussy cutting. So let's see if I can make this narrower. So it does end up rather big, doesn't it? But I'll get away with it. Just going to take, if I can, the tiniest bit off the bottom, which is not easy. And you've got a small slither. There we go, just about got away with that. Okay, so I'm going to chop this off so that it is equidistant to the other one. Like so. There we are. So it's fine. This does feel a little bit big for me. So if I was doing this again, maybe I would use that smaller sentiment from here, a smaller Happy Christmas or Christmas Blessings, and cut that out. But it would work exactly as is. But I want to put this on because I think it needs to stand out a little bit more. So I'm just going to pop that on with some glue. And what I could do is add some of the holly on either side. So the holly I cut out with the dies. So just positioning this equal from the edges, like so. So what I could do is put some holly on here, or I could add the little red dot on either side from the holly die cut. So I need to find the one that pinged off, looking for freedom. It'll be there somewhere, or I'll just cut another one, because the die itself cuts 6 holly berries in one, and I put some of our sticky paper on the back. double-sided sticky paper. And there we go. So that's today's Facebook Live. So using the stockings from Tidings and Trimmings, using the holly from the same die set that goes with that. I could colour these in as well. I think I might do that, add in a little bit of soft succulent here and here, and maybe add in a little bit of red on the red one. But other than that, that's going to be our card for today. Yes, it's 7:45, so much later than I need to be for a simple card like that. So thank you for joining me. If you want any information about anything I've shown you, then do just shout. This stamp set will be available, as will the papers and the dies, because it's come from the annual catalogue. Obviously we have our retiring catalogue, and some of those items have already sold out. So if there's anything in there that you would like, then don't hesitate to contact me and you can grab a bargain. Some of the items there are half price, and stock up with some of your Christmas goodies. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jeanette, Brenda. I know Kerry's already gone, Tracy, and anybody else who's watching who hasn't said hi. Thank you so much for joining me, and I shall be setting up ready for Saturday. If I get an opportunity to drop in another Facebook Live, as I missed one on Monday, then I will do. Thank you so much. You take care. Enjoy your evening. Thank you for joining me. Take care, look after yourselves and your loved ones, and certainly for this weekend here in the UK, please keep warm. Thanks for now. Bye bye.